Good morning, Gary here, Funding Jim. I am back. It looks like the account was flagged by Twitter about 2 weeks ago, maybe, yeah, about 2 weeks ago, something like that. It got flagged. I don't know if it was about hashtags or anything along those lines. And then I could not switch into this account. You can operate from the same number, the same cell phone number, multiple Twitter accounts, as you know, and you can switch between them if you choose to. That's what I've done with original Twitter was Funding Jim. I think in 2019, I also started, what was it called? Gifting You Hex as a Twitter account. And that was mostly for memes and during the beginnings of Hex when I was a little bit more brand conscious, things like that on my primary account. And then I had decided to, I think I changed that address of Gifting You Hex to be doxed. And my doxing is to support the community, support the advocation, some of my peer circle, things like that. When they get on stage to talk about macroeconomics or about success in real estate or other influence in financial markets, they go by name. It's Ray Dalio, it's George Gammon, it's Robert Kiyosaki that build their brand based on their name. So that gives them a bit more power, honestly, in their ability to speak outside of one niche or one topic. So I decided for myself, and again, everyone needs to have their own consideration when it comes to doxing, privacy, risk profile, family, extended family, things like that, as far as your histories. I think that Richard's been doing a bit more of this reveal of his personality and his origin story. And part of that has happened in the past 48 hours. I think it's happened with his visit to USA when I was with him, and he came to Valuetainment, and he had interviews there that was arranged. Had interviews with Jordan Belfort along the way, interviews with Fresh and Fit that myself and Dollar Cost were, we put that together. So, like, there's been a reveal phase to Richard, and I think that that's interesting because so many people have been, saying, "Oh, this guy's name used to be Richard Schuler, Schiller, Richard Schuler." And, he's always been clear that that has been his name, and he's had a stage name and a stage presence. Just like most of the celebrities you've ever thought you knew personally because of their movies or their content or their music, that's really not their identity and their origin usually. So he's explained that very well, and all the research can be done about his histories with different businesses and things like that and successes. So I think Richard's been a pretty good example. And he has a security conscious mind. Obviously, he is a influential person when he can be on stage. And so I wanted to do something similar for quite some time. And I think my risk profile is a bit different than most. I don't have children. I don't have a wife. I don't have a lot of risk profile other than the crypto people that I associate with most now. Like, I have background in special forces military and a lot of credentials in academics and medicine. And so I like all those things, but I am retired from those things too. I'm not going back into the military where my brand matters so much. And I'm not going back into medicine. I've been retired from that for a short time now, I guess, a couple of years, 3-4 years. And those are things I draw on from experience. And I wanted to create this Pulsechain media channel basically to give opportunity to founders and developers primarily. If the founders or developers are asking for someone's support, they're asking through attention, hey, follow my content. They're asking in participation, maybe in fundraising or in advocacy for their product, right? They are requesting of users and requesting of audience to provide social support, right? Social capital and advocation. That's what they're asking for. Sometimes they're even asking for direct financial support. And it's very important to me that as much reasonable diligence be done for products or services that are soon to launch on Pulsechain. I think that we can set the bar higher in cryptocurrency. I realize there's sound money that is at risk when it comes to digital assets that can be moved and they can be hacked from wallets and they can be, $5 wrench attacks and all these other threat models. And yet I still see very influential and successful people that are in the legacy market able to move relatively freely, right? So I think I want to communicate better as a bridge between those audiences. Anyway, that's my spiel about why I'm doing this and volunteering. I'm not paid in any form. There's no donations, there's no support, financial support or time support. This is all voluntary. And it is because I care so much about the principles that I learned about represented in Hex. And I hope that those port over to the same kind of culture for Pulsechain and PulseX. So with no further, I'm going to start inviting people up. It's really open mic. There's been a lot that's happened with Richard and with the Hex narrative and maybe the highest of stakes narrative. And there's been content over the past 48 hours about is Hex minor? Is it something else? Like all these other things. I really don't want to get too much into that. We can just briefly, walk across those goals. As far as Hex, the product, this really is for new things, new ideas, and also some of the further support for things that are probably going to launch relatively quickly once Pulsechain is live, once it is offered as an infrastructure, or PulseX is possible as a DEX for tokens and NFTs and things like that to move across chain. So Mintra, I think there's another NFT platform. I forgot the name of it. So yeah, I'm glad you guys are here. Anybody wants to chip in or comment, just raise your hand so I know that you're here. Let me go to social impact. If we want to change topic later, that's fine. But social impact, what is important about broadcasting message, about broadcasting opportunity in speculation or in tool sets that can be utilized by blockchain? And what does blockchain really mean? If you can halt or pause or roll back transactions on something that calls itself a blockchain, or founders say that it's a blockchain, then I don't think it is. There's been some controversy recently with things that are called stable coins, such as DAI. And what I remember DAI being proposed as was, here is a reference to value, and that reference to value is based on the underlying assets. And I think in its origin was of Ethereum. That DAI was based on Ethereum, and it was different than being backed by a bank account that can or can't be closed or shut, or a bank may decide not to no longer be a custodian for things like Tether, or maybe USDC has bank references and things like that related to Coinbase. So I liked DAI, and I know that we've had conversations about this about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, especially with people like the Kryptonian Programmer. I think that's his channel. And he liked the idea of being in DAI more than anything else as we go into the fork for Pulsechain. And some of that narrative for me has changed. And it has changed because I have seen DAI become a bag of cryptocurrencies as asset, underwriting its value. And that bag also includes USDC, and USDC has this admin key ability. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to go back on whatever legal contracts that DAI team has written with USDC team as far as being able to invalidate their own asset inside the DAI contracts. Like they may have some legal protections that theirs cannot be touched as underlying sequester and lockup of USDC to underwrite DAI. Maybe that's true. I don't know. But I don't like the message. The message is that this mixed bag has central authority by a corporation, and that corporation is also beholden to government. So I don't like DAI as much as I used to going into the fork. If anybody's going to be in a position, for bridge ratio trading and things like that. So I would like to talk about that a little bit. And then the other is, the what has the sacrifice address been doing? So they have had this conversion back in July of 21 basically into stablecoins, and most of that has been DAI. And I would like to see these new products that will launch on Pulsechain and their audits and their functionality. And I would like to see how they work on the new testnet when it reveals, because I'll be very interested in that. And it is because, is it better or best, or is it a use case to trust a algorithmically supported stablecoin like what Liquid Loans is trying to do, or the Power City people are trying to do? Because again, those are founders and they've got code that is forking. And yes, there are variables and there's contract risk. So I'd like to talk about stablecoin and about the use case and function as it flows into Pulsechain. If that's the first topic, we can move on to other topics as well. Anyways, I want to bring up Famous because he's one of the people I respect the most. Also, I'm going to invite Gamma. Anybody else that wants to speak, just ask, and we'll talk about any topic. But that's just what is on my mind this morning. What's up, Famous? Good to see you, man.
Hey, what's up, Gary? How are you, man?
All good, all good. I'm really curious about some different opinions. If you can go over the last 48 hours in general, and then I would like to talk about stable and plans going forward on that.
For myself, what's happened in the last 48 hours, I think it's a wonderful opportunity to get all the great minds together and maybe take a step forward. We don't have to have, a time deadline. It does take a long time to create and innovate. So I think it's a big opportunity for us to understand the magnitude of how important it is to come up with the truth. Explaining things properly. We've always said we were going to have to deal with this onboarding, and what better way than to create and what's the word, to coin our own to coin our own phrase or our own knowledge based our knowledge based whatever we do, how we utilize, and also as a Pulsechain, with everything that's happening, how that's going to be also a big pioneer in the game. Your conversation about the stable coins, I like it, but I don't like stable coins. That's for one reason, but I do understand the need for it. The copies necessary on chain, we don't know what's going to happen. It's always what can happen. And what can happen is that I see a very good split in the road from traditional ways of doing forks and non-traditional ways. I I'm always been an advocate for trying new things. I am a very habitual human being, but when it comes to this crypto, I do look forward and I do look foreshadow, better outcomes and better solutions. Since most of the stuff that we're deal with is mathematics. Mathematics can be read from left to right and right to left. That's the beauty of math. The result could bring you back to the question, and the question brings you to the result. And with stable coins, I think there is an issue that we haven't solved. It could be on our side, or it could be on the side that we peg the stable coins to. Now, DAI is, DAI is DAI. What can we do with the DAI on the other side is at this moment in time still a dilemma, because we don't know what the consequences are. Maybe we would know with the new V3, like you said. being able to see what people do and how it's utilized, how it's redeemed, how it's created, or so on and so forth. But even at that, I don't think we're gonna get through to how it really works. Mainly because I don't think we have the option of utilizing the die. I think I'm not sure about that, but I just think that the sacrifice address is holding it for a reason. Right now, DAI is a very liquid pool. I would say it's kind of, I think it's the second most liquid pool on Ethereum. Obviously, USDC is a big risk taker since everything could be deleted by one function. Um, but if it was up to me, I would not have a stablecoin. To be honest with you, um, I just simply wouldn't. I would allow just people to purchase their Bitcoin, their Ethereum, their BNB, their Pulsechain, and so on and so forth, and then be able to do the traditional ways of bringing that in and trading it on DEX. I would want the stablecoin to permanently leave. Um, I don't think it's healthy. One mainly because it's a USD value. What about what about the European dollar? What about the Japanese dollar? What about the Australian dollar? Canadian dollar. I feel like a lot of people don't. Well, I'm sorry. I'll repeat this. A lot of Twitter-based accounts don't realize that the rest of the world has to deal with Bitcoin in their price, right? So like $20,000 US to multiple countries, such as myself as Canadian. That's 30% more than what I would have to pay for 20 grand. So I would have to pay what 26,000 just off of the exchange rate. So I think stable coins are very deceptive. I don't like it because 100% of the stable coin is not US dollar. It's purchased with other dollars. So that's where I think all the problems come from, and no one wants to talk about it. But yeah, DAOs and stable coins right now is too much of an early phase in the history of crypto in order for us to even be able to use them as a backbone. And that's my personal take on it.
I appreciate that. That's interesting. As you were speaking, it made me think that my real estate isn't backed by a bank account that has liquid dollars to hold its value. Basically, it's the buyer that determines what's the price. A fancy watch, a fancy car. It's not like there's escrowed or held in an account somewhere dollars that are supporting the price of the commodity or the price of the good or even the service, but good, let's say. So it's interesting that this stablecoin narrative has had traction over the years, starting, I guess, with Tether. And, it seems like it's one of those trading tools that became familiar. Like you want to de risk in stock, then you go into a dollar account or a money market account. And I can see the origin story, but like there's hardly anything else that has escrowed waiting backing the resource. Even the dollar itself is not actually backed by anything as far as Federal Reserve. It's only policy and as far as especially foreign entities or countries and things like that. It's just the threat of violence. It's the threat of don't if you're not going to honor the ledger entry of a dollar, then it's the threat of violence that enforces it, not really other assets that are transportable. There was a narrative in the past. I guess maybe the last time I really heard about it a lot was 2008, 2009 era when countries like Germany would say, give us back our gold because they had physical gold that they would de risk from having inside the country itself of Germany, and they would place it in other countries that they felt were safe as a decentralization effort for their financial values. So I think something like 50 tons of gold or at least last time I heard about it was in New York underneath the bank there. So like there's vaulting, there's decentralization. Different countries have different reasons why they do that with their assets, their physical assets or tangible assets, and it just really goes to like perception. Is stablecoin useful? Well, in a speculative market where people want to trade chart high and low, they want to move into something, and if they're you know bold, they would move from a high performing chart into a low dip kind of chart to say here's the opportunity. But so much of cryptocurrency seems to wash positively up or positively or negatively down, because of liquidity pairing. So I understand some of it, but like it is a question that I have, and I guess my only guidance will be, like I said earlier, is doxed wallets. If I see Rackham is sitting in DAI, maybe I'd have more confidence. If I see that OA is staying in DAI through the fork, then maybe I'd have more confidence. It's not like I care so much to have a lot of stable coins sitting on the sideline. That's not my position when it comes to crypto. But I can, I'm looking for indicators, and my indicators right now are still the whales. Let me move to Gamma. Thanks for coming up as a speaker. Hey, man, what's up?
What's going on, man? Saturday. I saw the Twitter space, so I thought I'd come and join you.
Yeah, I'm really happy about a lot of the views your content has been getting. Like I've said in the past, is V3 or whatever the test net is. I would really love to see more people posting photos of their validator that they're choosing, or their hardware or their setup, still keep their privacy. But I would love to see those kinds of posts, that they have things operational even in testnet, Ethereum test nets, and doing things like that to get an understanding of what they should be doing. I really am glad that you're being so giving of your knowledge in this space.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting contacted by people that are interested in running validators, and maybe they've never ran servers before. They're unfamiliar with Linux, and it's not a hurdle that can be overcome. So, you just learn it. It's fine. If you're in crypto, you've already made the drastic change of trying to understand crypto. Learning Linux to run a validator isn't that much of an ask if you're in crypto already and you want to put in the work.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Anytime that toward the end of the shows, make sure that we roll through everyone's content where they can find people, because I think yours is stellar, and I'm glad you're doing it. Let me bring up the next speaker that was on deck, which is NFT on Pulse. If you want to give your pitch or tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi guys, thanks for inviting me to the space. Some of you guys,
All good. All
some
good.
of you guys may know or may not know me. My name is Lank. I'm one of the admins from Pulsechain chat. I know Gamma. I know a lot of guys from here. A lot of familiar names. So, but the guys that don't know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Lank. I am been in the Pulsechain and Hex community for almost 2 years now. I'm actually one of the creators of howdopulse.com. I know a lot of people use that till today. It's a really popular website in the space. We started that about 15, 16 months ago in the voice chat. Me and a couple other guys, we got together. We just started creating content. We've seen that there was a lack of, just education in the space. So we just attacked it, really just came together, threw up the website really quickly, and then just started getting a lot of people, a lot of contributors, because in this community, it's really, really great. There's a lot of great people that are just willing to spend their time, like you, hosting this space. So we found a lot of people that was really helpful and just started to up the cost, and we just started to build out how to pulse. And that was a great run. Then we kind of pivoted and we went into the NFT marketplace. So that was my idea from the beginning before we started how to pulse, excuse me. My background is I've been in crypto for almost 7 years now. I've been through all the ups and downs, and I've been in NFTs specifically when cryptocurrency just launched. So, I have a lot of experience just in crypto and outside of crypto, just as far as platforms business wise. So we pivoted to the NFT marketplace, which is actually up and running right now. It's in beta. We had a lot of presence the last couple of days. A lot of people just started to, upload their collections and NFTs, and it's really been quite a hit. We're really happy with the traffic that's coming through, and we're really excited for Pulsechain to come out because one of the big things that we noticed, which is probably the biggest thing, is the copies of everybody's NFTs. That is something that we didn't add into the first round of beta. We're indexing that right now. We already indexed it. We're gonna integrate it into the back end, and our next release will be all the indexed NFTs that were on Ethereum. So that way, when you come to Pulsechain, you'll see all your copies. You'll be able to list them, interact with them, and really, really be able to use the platform and the chain as Richard wants everybody to, make sure everybody's building and, making sure the chain is active and bringing over users. So we took it in ourselves to, take on the NFT side of things. And, we went out and built NFT on Pulse.io. You can go check it out right now. We had over the last couple of days, just maybe a little less than 1,000 users that created collections. We are going to, and you could ask me questions. I don't want to ramble on. If anybody had it.
No, go ahead, man. Yeah. I want to hear the whole thing. I want to hear if it's I really do appreciate your How to Pulse website. Walrus has worked with that, and he's advocated quite a bit about it. I think it's the same site, right?
Yes, Walrus is on the team as well. He's been around for a really long time. I actually remember Walrus when the sacrifices were happening back in however long that was, a couple of years ago. I remember Walrus in the voice chat, and he was just literally, we became friends, on voice chat, and then we took it to the DMs, and then we kind of collaborated from there, and still, friends till today. So, yeah, that was our number one thing. We hadn't, we've seen how good, Hex was doing all their education, and we kind of wanted to mimic the same thing for Pulsechain. So being there on the, day zero, basically, we kind of took it into ourselves, and we went ahead and built that. Since we had the education, of course, behind it, that's why we were able to build it quickly, and it was very useful. So, we kind of just wanted to continue from there, and that's why I said we went and pivoted to the NFT space, and we wanted to make sure that when everybody comes to Pulsechain, there is a marketplace to go to that you could play around with your NFTs. And there's a lot of other great projects that are coming out on Pulsechain as well that, we've seen that was going to be our niche. That was going to be our space. We found that it was kind of our blue ocean at the moment, per se. So just to get back to the marketplace, it's really, really, just beta version right now. You could, we wanted to get the most important things, edit profile, user profile, audit profiles, auction, buy, sell, create. We wanted to get really the major functions out of the way, get those bugs, if we have any, kinked out, and then bring in the more complexity of indexing all the Ethereum's NFTs so that we could display it to the end user, and then go ahead and add our innovative features as we plan to do. And we also plan to release our staking protocol, which is going to be integrated into the marketplace. So as we progress on and on through these phases of the marketplace, we'll just be adding on features by features. So, if anybody's into NFTs or has any questions about NFTs, just let me know. You could always reach out to me. I'm on Telegram. We have a Telegram chat, t.me/NFT on Pulse. That's our main chat. You could follow us on Twitter. This is our main Twitter. But, the marketplace right now is really functional. We're updating it every single day. We're pushing new versions every single day. Right now, we do have a sacrifice, but it's not a sacrifice like everybody would say. We're not asking anybody for money, as we always do. How to Pulse is free from day one, and we wanted to just continue that into the marketplace. And we're giving back 10% of our token, which is going to be the marketplace token, which is where when we do release the staking feature, you'll be able to stake your tokens and earn revenue from the marketplace. So the token is going to be INNO, which is ENO, and there's a sacrifice info tab on the homepage, top right corner, and you could just go through and see what it takes to participate. All we're asking is to connect to the website, list a collection, list one NFT, and you'll be in our sacrifice, basically the round. So once these next 80 days go by, we're gonna download the database, take all the addresses, and those are the addresses that are going to be qualified for the airdrop.
That's awesome. I was just looking through the website itself, and I'm going to come back to NFTs as a topic in just a moment. Let me go through the rounds again on other people that are speaking,
Sure.
And I'll come
Thank
back.
you, Derek.
Oh, good. So I saw the next person that entered the room was B-Roots. Good to see you here, man. What's up? How's it going?
Good. It's early morning, about to take the kids for a walk and just listen to some Pulsechain projects. So, doing well. How about you?
Yeah, I appreciate it. If you're listening in, maybe toward the end, give some opinions and insight. I think it's helpful because your Shield Tank show seems like it's doing quite well. I saw that Ian was in the room earlier. I don't know if he's going to come back or something, but very cool the dynamic that the two of you have as hosts for new things on Ethereum. And I do respect your opinions when it comes to the law of memes, and some of these things may replicate on Pulsechain as far as what becomes popular or commentary or bridged and things like that. So I'm glad you're in here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Let me move on to Top Gun. Hey man, it's been a while since seen you. What's going on?
Well, thanks for having me up. Yeah, I've been pretty busy lately, unfortunately. The day job has been beckoning me a lot lately, but very excited to get back into the space. I've been loving the updates, like everything that's been going on recently, seeing Richard getting back to kind of the old style, leading some updates, and getting the actual feeling in the community, the buzz for Pulsechain testnet coming, and I can't wait to crunch some new numbers inside my math model.
Yeah, it's a interesting thing. So do you focus mostly your analysis? Is it on token and coin performance? You really don't pay attention much to NFT or market other than the gas use. I mean, like, what is your niche interest?
Well, I mean, really, my niche interest is the base technology. I'm obsessive about technology. I don't like things I can't understand. So, I mean, I took up in high school programming for machine language for Borland C++, so I could understand binary ASCII and microchip architecture with and OR gates. So when blockchain started evolving, I mean, the idea of an NFT as just a JPEG image, a little bit boring. But at this point in my life, I own a few NFTs because I love functional utilities. So, I mean, the What's a NFT, just sitting there collecting things. I've got an educational NFT. I've got another NFT that's transmutable back into its layer 1 token. So, I mean, I just love technology that is innovating, and the innovation around Pulsechain really captivates me. So, I mean, real revenue staking, things I can sink my teeth into and do valuations, look at the kind of uses a protocol has, the kind of revenue it can generate, and how it's being shared back to the community. That's exciting. That's easy for me to run through math models and actually go, wow, there's a lot of potential growth here, because just tracking the amount of layer 1 coins is interesting, but then you're able to actually speculate on the price of those layer 1 coins as future develops. So, I mean, every project I got associated with in this space early on pretty much dealt with real revenue sharing with the community like Paul Sex did. I mean, that's absolutely revolutionary for a big buyer Barry to come along and be willing exit liquidity for life. Basically, there is always a buyer that will be there for exit liquidity when the price is high, when the price is low. As long as there is volume on that DEX, as long as the business is doing business, there is exit liquidity for the people that want to get involved in playing the market. Guaranteed. That's pretty amazing. That's not something you find in crypto because it's such a speculative market. To be changing and revolutionizing it by actually sharing revenue, to have an NFT marketplace like NFT on Pulse.io turn around and actually decide, yeah, we're going to allow you to stake your tokens and earn in protocols. To see Power City doing that, to see Internet Money running buy and burn using the wallet swap fees on Pulsechain, you get to see the IM go up. And the revenue is actually being shared back, in which case this is more than just speculation. This is something that has guaranteed future value beyond just the ability to send trustless tokens without a middleman to someone else. I don't know how more people aren't more excited all the time about this.
Yeah, it's excellent commentary. I appreciate that. Yeah, so we are all kind of gamers and curious and tinkerers. I remember as a kid being 3 or 4 years old, and my mom had to hide the tools from me. I would disassemble the television, disassemble the lawnmower, things like that, just to understand how it works. And that tinkering has kind of carried over into different technologies, including this crypto game. So it's very interesting, the mindset that you have. That's why I always appreciate your commentary. That's awesome. Let me bring up the next speaker for an introduction. I saw that Pulse Ecosystem. I think I've seen you before in other spaces. What's up, man?
I'm great, guys. How are you?
It's excellent. Great to be here. Do you have some intro or some commentary?
I think I came in the middle. I'll pass for now, and when I have a better question, I'll ask.
That sounds great. So yeah, glad to have you in here. I'm going to invite KG if he does take the mic. That'd be great. I saw he's got different launch phases on his products, and as founder, him and I think his dad is co-founder, and I was paying attention both to Internet Money's wallets performance, not just as far as coin, but just some of the things that they're doing, and wanted to get an update on that if he's got a moment. What's up, KG?
Funding Jim, what's up, brother?
Very good to have you here, man. You're a leader of other developers. I don't think you code directly, but I'm curious about your inputs on these things, both of your project and what's going on in Pulsechain.
Sure, I just always got to give a shout out to my boy B Roots. How's everyone doing today?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, so updates in development for us. We are very close to and apologies for the noise, got the kiddos playing in the background. We are very close to a beta version 2 launch of the wallet, which is going to include security audits on all of our smart contracts, not just the tokens, but our swap router. And there may even be another smart contract that's included in beta V2. Not going to talk about it just yet because it's a little premature, but it's something kind of cool and new we're working on. Wallet will also be security audited, pin tested, some other cool things going on there. So aiming for beta V2 in about 5-ish weeks, but part of that is out of our control because the security audit team, which is CerTic for this round, they take their time, do their thing. Yeah, that's update about where we're at. Everything will be on mainnet very soon.
Can you cover real quick for the audience and people that listen later? What are the different types of tokens, and why makes them different from each other? Because you're not just one thing. It seems like you're many.
Yeah, so we have actually 3 tokens in our ecosystem. And people say, what? 3 tokens? That's absurd. No, but they all have a place and a purpose. So the main crux, like the main token that's like the crux of what we do, it's actually the first token of its kind in crypto. We invented the tech. No other project has this type of smart contract. And we are the very first wallet to do this. It is our token called Time Dividend, and the ticker is Time. And so what this does is in the wallet, when swaps occur from one crypto to another, a fee is charged, just like any other wallet you use. The difference with our wallet, that fee is charged in the form of the blockchain's native coin. So if you're on Pulsechain, you're paying the fee in Pulse. If you're on Ethereum, you're paying the fee in ETH. Now, another thing that's different about our wallet is 100% of those fees get paid out to the holders of the time token. So you're earning passive income in Pulse, ETH, BNB, whatever chain we launch time on, you're earning passive income on that chain. And there's no staking, there's no delegating, there's no locking up your time. It's literally the slogan is earn passive income, free your time. So that's the time token. Now, we have a second token called Future. And what the Future token does is it's very simple. That only exists on Ethereum. And by holding the Future token, you get one-to-one airdrops when we launch time on future chains. This was actually a way that we tokenized our sacrifice set as well. And then the final token is Internet Money, or IM. That's our deflationary peer-to-peer digital cash. It has a buy and burn mechanic directly tied to the time token. So as the wallet does more revenue, then or volume rather, then the buy and burn is going to be heavier for Internet Money. And it's actually, Internet Money was pretty cool. We just launched a video. You can watch it on our YouTube channel. We just reached decentralized status. You'll actually see the top holder on both chains. It's on Binance and Ethereum. Is the DEX. So there's no team allocation, no tokens stored for development or marketing or anything like that. It is 100% in the hands of the holders. So that was a lot. I understand. We break it down much simpler in our Telegram channel. So happy to answer any further questions.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll come back to your project in a little bit. Also, again, one of the reasons I value you being here is not just because you're building your own thing and your team. Many people perform on your team. It is because I do respect your opinions when it comes to other projects. Same as when it comes to B-Roots. Like, I think that you're excellent commentators about both the tech and then the hype. Like, why do people care? That's why I really respect B-Roots' commentary. I see your hand up, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I get the gist. Just because I've heard you multiple times, kind of explain it. But for those who do not, I've noticed in my time, in crypto that multi-currency ecosystems is very hard to explain to the newcomer and the person that's just not very technically sound at getting tokenomics or what to invest in and what not to invest in. Do you have a very easy, simple explainer video showing your ecosystem on YouTube? And if so, I think that would help for your marketing, just because, when it's very simple, easy explainer, 4 or 5 minute video that just rounds up everything like you did, but just in visual form and also audio form, it's definitely beneficial. I've noticed that a lot for multiple ecosystem type coins like that.
Not something we have yet, but definitely something that we are going to do. We have an explainer video for our time token. So like the whole tied to the wallet swaps, we made a really nice and clean video there. That's only about 50 seconds. We wanted to make it short, sweet, and to the point. And so it's definitely something that we want to push out for the whole ecosystem as well. I completely agree with what you said.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gamma. I see you hand up. What's up, man?
No, one topic that I'd like to discuss after we're done talking about KG's project, which is pretty awesome. New wallets are very, very awesome, is trustless, decentralized oracles for Pulsechain. So this topic later on in the conversation.
Definitely, we'll bring that up in just one moment. Yeah, I think an explainer, back to KG for a moment, is an explainer video is helpful. Like, I've been around the project. I like the project. I like the founder. I intend well after Pulsechain is launched, after the madness, to work on things on Pulsechain myself and support either my own developers or work with somebody like KG, someone I respect. So I like that. He's doing this thing and going through the process. I still don't understand enough about it, and explaining it in word and in space is still difficult because we are so visual. So it's great commentary that B Roots had about this, 3-minute video. Here's the graphic, here's the info, and here's why. And my last question before your response is, do you do a lot of metrics and measurement about the other blockchains volume and actual how many people hold value on those other ecosystems? Like, for example, transactions and holders and value locked or not locked, but basically inside of Cardano or Tron or, these other Litecoin and so forth. Do you have pretty accurate information about who you're trying to appeal to outside of the Ethereum networks?
So outside of EVMs, we're not going to step into that territory just yet. We're going to niche down on EVMs first. And once we build a really strong foundation and community around EVMs, then we'll look at branching out. Because if you look at it right now, MetaMask is the #1 wallet in existence, and it's an EVM wallet. And so it's almost like that you see this whole new ethos of crypto wallets coming out. And they're like, we support every blockchain. And it's like, that's great. But it's like jack of all trades, master of none. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. So we're really wanting to focus on the EVMs. And the cool thing about EVMs is it's not just Ethereum or Binance or Ethereum or Binance or Polygon, right? There's niche communities too. Like, we're just living our lives, and then all of a sudden you have proof of memes. All of a sudden you have X1. All of a sudden you have Pulsechain. You just have these 3 new EVM layer 1s that came out of nowhere that all have dedicated, passionate communities. And what's awesome about that is they're smaller. So maybe they're not as big of a pond as Ethereum, but you can be a bigger fish in that smaller pond. So part of the business model too is provide value to and Pulsechain is kind of maybe a little bigger than some of the other smaller EVM chains, but point remains that provide value to the smaller EVM chains with dedicated, passionate communities. And so I think there's a lot of space to be had. And then I want to also finalize my other point about, I talked about the tokens. That is a lot, and you're right. That's a lot of layers of complexity for a newer person. But that's the beautiful thing, is all the tokens are just additional features of our wallet. So the new person who's just trying to get into crypto and use a wallet and have the best experience, they don't even have to know about the tokens yet. They can just find a good user experience, good UI, and good feature set in the wallet, and then we can introduce them to the tokens over time as well.
I like what you said about with the smaller communities, because it's actually kind of how I took, my branding with my Twitter from, 2,000 to, 40, close to 40,000 now within a year and a half. It's literally spending time with other communities. And then when one gets big and you're the big fish within that community, you actually grow tremendously doing that. So, you're kind of putting your little seed in each little community, and if you're the main wallet in that community and that thing grows up to be big, now you're a big wallet, and now you spread even faster and get even bigger, and it becomes even more viral. So it's just kind of a different way of marketing that a lot of people don't notice.
Yeah, exactly. We're not at the point in the project where I'm sitting down talking to Vitalik, but I am talking to Jack Levin. I am talking to Roger, or I used to. I haven't kept up with him. I'm part of the Pulsechain community, so I know a lot of people. We know a lot of people in that community, and like you said, man, it's like on all these small chains too. They don't have the developers. They don't have the economic energy. They don't have the community support, and so we are like, that's the beauty of our product, is we can go to any EVM chain and immediately bring a community, right? The internet money community, the community that we're building. We can bring a wallet, we can bring tokens, and we can also bring a way for those users to earn passive income in the form of the chain that they believe in. That's the beauty of our time token, is it can go anywhere. So it's like we can almost franchise ourselves onto all these different chains.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, and I kudos again for KG on response inside of Twitter. Sometimes it's overwhelming to participate in Twitter, especially if you get tied into any of the drama kinds of things. And I never see him really chipping in on dramatic commentary, but I do see him advocating his product and his team to people like David Gokhshtein. I see him every so often tag when David's opening up and says, I want to hear about new projects or I want to hear about new things. Of course, it's engagement baiting from David's perspective, but sooner or later those messages get through. So leverage some of the things you already, or people you already know well that can advocate on your behalf, like BitBoy is obviously, or not BitBoy. Corey Costa is very good friends with David. David became friends with me because of Richard. So there's a lot of other things we can leverage about our community to get interesting projects in front of bigger audiences. So I like how KG does his marketing is kind of my point. Let me go to Gamma. You want to switch topics? And let's go to the Oracle question because I remember in 2019, well before Hex had launched, a really good friend of mine had a pitch, and I set up a video conference between my friend and Richard. So the three of us were talking then, and Richard was in the video conference was very hesitant about engaging anything that relied on an Oracle. He said he didn't want to deal with Oracle problems. He didn't, this was before really Uniswap was so popular. And so oracles were his nemesis when it came to cryptocurrency. So it's interesting that Gamma brought that up. Gamma, go ahead and tell your pitch about what you think.
Yeah. So, for Hex, it would be better if decentralized projects like Hex or others did not have to rely on an Oracle like at all. Like that would be like top tier, right? But there are projects that have use cases on blockchain. So you have like Liquidity, who are doing a stable coin, right? Liquid Loans, Power City, forking Liquidity, that has a stable coin that is tied back to a USD price for it to function. How do you get the USD price? Okay, you may like stable coins or not like stable coins, but they exist, and so it's a problem to be fixed if those are to function on Pulsechain correctly. And then you have other like exchanges. I think Fiat, Famous, one of those two also would need. I'm not like intimately aware of Buck Fiat's programs, but I know for a fact that at least one of his products needs to have a Oracle service to function because it deals with USD prices or other exchange um, aggregating a price. You know what I mean? That's what an Oracle does. It takes API feeds from exchanges, from PulseX itself, and it takes in all those data feeds, and with the other teller reporters that are on the network, also getting those feeds aggregates a price that can be trusted enough, right, by the smart contract to function, as a source data entry point for the contract to function correctly. So, teller oracles are, from my understanding, Chainlink didn't want to because Jesse told me this in a chat that they reached out to Chainlink and they were not interested at all. And then I don't know, I'm not hugely aware of like all the different Oracle services that are available, but from my understanding, Liquid Loans, the people, right, were able to kind of engage Teller and kind of have a communication with them somehow, and then get them to. I guess the plan now is to fork Teller's code, to make another product basically that's a fork of Teller, rebrand it with a new native token, so it's a native Oracle service for Pulsechain. And what I like about that is it's needed infrastructure for many projects on Pulsechain. It's launching natively on Pulsechain. And what I like is Palm Chain, Ethereum POW, Ethereum Fair. I don't think they have a native Oracle service that's launching on their platforms. Pulsechain does. As the new EVM in town, it has all these other 150 projects that we talk about, right? The IM Wallet, all these projects, and then also a branded native Oracle service. Awesome. The three core infrastructure technologies that I'm really focused on, and the reason why I'm talking about Teller is validators, education, and helping and setting up having the highest decentralized or as decentralized as possible validator network for Pulsechain requires people to have education, run these servers, desktop computers, like in their houses or in a data center if they want to, wherever they want, right, all over the world. The second one is the graph, right? Graph indexing, having subgraphs. Like I'm not running them, but I know how to run them. I can run them for teams, and I can help people run them. And like it's a needed like core infrastructure that you can deploy on Pulsechain with an archive node, a graph node, Postgres, IPFS, right? It's like a whole stack of programs to run. And some teams on Pulsechain will run that. They may or may not know how to do that, but I've done research and I know how to deploy that stuff. And then also Teller. So now those are my three technology stacks that I'm supporting for Pulsechain. Not running them. I'm not like, I don't have a public service. I don't have a token. I don't have a sacrifice. Like it's literally, here's code, here's clients, me and my brain with 10 years of experience running Linux sysadmin systems. I read the documentation, deploy the code a few times to make sure that I understand how to deploy it. And then, all of a sudden I know how to do it and help teams or individuals run that kind of thing. So that's kind of like the motivation, right? So instead of running a project, I can help Pulsechain deploy these, core infrastructure protocols, which are going to be needed. Awesome. I love doing this stuff. But going back to Teller, anybody can be a Teller reporter, similar to being a validator. So that's why it's kind of paired together really well. So if somebody's interested in being a validator and they want to stake PLS and they want to be a validator, they want to run a server in their house, they want to run a server in a data center, then they can do that. But then another way that they can support the network, they can support their favorite projects that are running on Pulsechain that may require an Oracle. And like I said before, it's better if these decentralized applications don't require a Oracle service, but some of the use cases require it. So there's a solution for that. And if you're a huge fan of liquid loans, if you're a huge fan of stable coins, like the Power City stablecoin or the liquid loan stablecoin, if you are like it's either fiat or it's famous, one of those two applications, right? The what buck fiat is generating, it's going to require an Oracle service. I don't know what they're going to use, but they'll probably end up using the Teller service since it's deploying on Pulsechain. And then whichever else application is running on Pulsechain. So the nitty gritty of it is you can like buy the whatever the name is. We don't have the name yet. We're calling it Teller because that's what it's on Ethereum and that's on the other EVM networks. But they've been said, it's public information, which is the reason I have it, is that they are going to name it something and they're going to have a native token. And that native token is a staking token that you can stake that token in a Teller reporter. And the hardware requirements to be a Teller reporter is like a lightweight web server. Like if you wanted to run like a WordPress web blog, you know what I mean? So it's like 4 gigs of RAM, a couple vCPUs. It's not as robust as a validator, right? Because to be a validator on Pulsechain requires you to install Geth, which is at least 700 gigabytes, or Aragon, which is, could be more, could be less, depending on, whether or not you have pruning turned on, which is, I'm not going to go in that. Then you have Prism or Lighthouse, which has a 100 gigabyte database. And then you have to configure these clients together, and then you have a validator, and you have to stake 32 million PLS If you have validator, you can run multiple validators in each one. I can walk you through all that. Watch my videos on my Substack. We'll go into the Substacks and stuff at the end, right, Gary? So that's fine. I don't have to, do that stuff now. But another way to support the network, like I said, and run a more lightweight server that doesn't cost that much. You're talking maybe 10 or 20 bucks a month to run a server, say like in a data center somewhere in the world. The configuration, I've looked at the configuration steps and they don't look that hard, right? It's very, very easy to install a telereporter. The hardware requirements are a lot more lightweight. I don't have the staking requirements. I don't have a name of it yet, but that'll all be forthcoming, and I will do videos on my Substack once I have that information. And then I will be also sharing with community like that information as it comes out to kind of like disseminate it as a like telereporting is a thing that will be on Pulsechain, and then here's some basic information about it. So maybe in the back of your mind, you want to think, oh, I want to be a validator. Oh, well, maybe I should look into this telereporting thing too as a means to help the network, and then also you can earn some revenue running servers and supporting the network that way. So that's all the really information I have right now, other than actually being able to deploy this stuff on, like, say, a GoEarly Ethereum testnet. But in the future, like maybe in a few weeks, maybe I don't know when, um, the Teller team and the Liquid Loans people, they're gonna like give us more information on this Teller fork, and then I will be distributing that information to the community as like part of my function as a self. I've self-directed myself to be an educator for this infrastructure, so I hope everyone seems to enjoy it, so I continue doing it. That's basically it. And then as I get more information, I'll be going in these spaces. My Substack, like I said, VCs, Pulse Chain VC if it's active, and I will be telling people about it. And then I can help you set it up. You can watch my videos on my Substack to help you set it up. The normal thing.
Very cool. Thanks for that walkthrough. Yeah, toward the end, we'll give, like in about 5 minutes, I'm going to walk through the different speakers today and what you're about and where people can find your content. Let me do a last commentary before we get to the outro from the different speakers. So the question I have is, Pulse Chain is staking, Pulse Chain is validating, Pulse Chain is holds a DEX. DEX has of PulseX has single side staking. Hex is or isn't staking. Just your 2 or 3 sentence review on nomenclature, and then we'll wrap up the show with who people are and so forth. So first, let me bring up Pulse Pulse ecosystem. I'm going to give a commentary about that, and then after you give that commentary, how can people can find you? Oh, if you stepped away from the mic, let's go to nftonpulse.io. What's up, man? Can you give the answer to that?
Yes, guys, thank you for taking the time and letting us pitch our project. You could find us at nftonpulse.io. We're on Telegram, t.me/nftonpulse. And it's just our main goal is just to have a community driven platform. We value all the participants and feedback that we have right now for the beta, just so that we can work out the kinks. Our focus is on innovation and creativity as we release new features on and on, new beta versions and features as we continue to grow. And right now, we're just looking for the artists that are within the community. So if they could reach out to us, any support they need on NFTs or any questions, you could reach out to me, just add me on Twitter or get me on Telegram. Yeah, and thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Great. You want to give a sentence about how you're going to address the words staking, mining, validating? What else is there? All the different nomenclature. What do you think Pulse Chain will be?
I think mining would be the
Great.
right terminology.
Okay, so mining. Let's go on to Top Gun. What's up, man? You want to give a comment and then how people can find you or keep up with your your commentary?
Well, I'm most active on Twitter here, where I try to at least stay up to date or put a little bit of commentary on the things that I see. But I also have a YouTube channel, which has been neglected lately, but I'm going to try and get an episode out this weekend where I go into deep dives and go over market charts, my TA, my theory on economic movements in the markets, and how that's going to affect crypto. And then occasionally doing my valuation, basically with doing my math models to try and predict future revenue growth in some of these wonderful token models. So yeah, thank you very much for having me up.
All right, man. Make a comment about are you staying away from the word staking or mining, or what's your view of Pulsechain actions or PulseX actions?
So I mean, if somebody is a little bit newer to the space, and I've always had a problem with terminology, in the fact that I hate when people use big words to obscure the meaning of things. So I mean, the financial markets are not as complicated as they sound if you actually can break things down and simplify them. So when I try to even understand what the term staking was when I first came here, I guess I live in a little bit of a constant state of annoyance about whatever Gary's gonna say next. I mean, everything but Bitcoin is a security, apparently. Even your job at McDonald's is a security, according to him. So, I mean, it's just more walking on eggshells and jumping around to play games. But essentially, it's a time deposit. You're promising not to sell, and that's what I've really called it when I've explained it to anyone. So, I mean, I've just been sitting here and laughing, where I'm like, you know what? I'm just hexing. I'm going to turn hex into a verb. That's what I'm going to do now. I don't even care about the word staking or mining. I'm just hexing. I'm 5555 hexing.
I like it. That's awesome. I like that. Again, play on something that was a new word. It becomes a dictionary term. It kind of fits with what I've been saying on the other channels. But yeah, thanks for the commentary. I appreciate it. I'm going to come back to Gamma toward the very end. Let me go to KG. What's up, man? I want to give where people can find your content and commentary about the nomenclature we've been talking about.
Sure. So thanks again to the three co-hosts for hosting the space today. Fun Jim, B Roots, Famous, you guys are awesome. And unfortunately, I couldn't hear what Top Gun or NFT on Pulse said. Like their mics were cut out for me. So if I repeat anything, apologies for that. But yeah, for the staking versus mining, like at the end of the day, I don't, as an individual, care too much. I think it's going to be at least for Hex, there's going to be a paradigm shift. The brand for many years has been staking. So curious to see how all that plays out. For Pulse Chain, I guess validating makes a lot of sense. Just calling them validators, validating, and I guess that makes sense to me. And as far as where you can find me, right here on Twitter, I have all my links are in my bio. And also, if you're interested in the Internet Money project that I spoke to, internetmoney.io. And all of our socials are at internetmoney.io. But you can get to all of our socials from internetmoney.io. Thanks again.
Thanks again, Buzz. So let me go to Famous, and then it'll be Gamma, and then it'll be B Roots to give the close. Famous, what's up, man? What are your thoughts about nomenclature, and then where can people find your awesome content?
I'll do the content first because or else I'll lose everyone. So you can find me at crypto the famous. Basically, we run. I'm also a host and co-host on the at Hex All Day, where we run a 24/7. Basically, we created an online Twitter space community where we are always there. We are always providing people a place where you could learn about Hex, ask questions about the RH ecosystem. It's completely free. It's for every Hexkin new person, whoever needs questions on onboarding, security practices. We have numerous amazing members from the Hex community and other communities that come in and share their thoughts. Besides that, you could also go on crypto2 with the number 2 learn.com if you need a mobile onboarding tool to explain and have documents or quick links for RH ecosystem, Maxi and the Hedron Icosa ecosystem. Also, we're working on currently teamhexpool.com, which is going to be a part of the community where we're going to be engaging daily, monthly, yearly, you name it. Basically, I could say daily, where we're going to be engaging and doing team pools with the community so we can earn more and have more and save more. It's a little thing I wanted to make people more aware and more involved. Also, what else is there? I know there's something I'm missing. Oh, yeah, you guys could go ahead and check out docs.hextolearn.com or doc with no S, just doc.hexdirect.com. And those are some cool GitLabs that I just created. You could let me know. And then for my opinion, I think Pulsechain will be proof of stake. I think Ethereum was proof of work, and I think Hex is neither. If anything, Hex is proof of burn. And I'm going to keep stacking my minters. So, yeah, that's my take on it.
Much appreciated. I think you also do a show on Discourse Syndicate. Is that a regular thing?
Oh, yeah, that's 100%. So I have a show on Monday nights, the Worst Damn Crypto Show, and Wednesday at DeFi Syndicate on Discourse Syndicate every Wednesday at, well, holy shit. It's at, I think it's at 5 p.m. PST, Pacific time, and it's at 1 a.m. UTC. So, yeah, thanks.
All good, man. All good. Let me go to Gamma. Where can people find your content, and what are your opinions about nomenclatures?
Sure. My opinion is for a validator on Pulsechain. I think it's a validator. I'm going to call it a validator. It's not mining because there's a mining actually has a definition, and you are not doing SHA-256, algorithm to mine a block. You are a validator. So I'm going to use validator for Pulsechain. That's what Ethereum uses. We're a fork of Ethereum, right? So I'm good with that. With the hex nomenclature, mining, you know what I mean. It's not a perfect fit, but Richard's already updated the website, so it's a good thing I don't talk about hex. Like staking. It's not like my thing to talk about the hex mining, staking, T-shares like too much. So I can skirt that a lot of times in when I'm talking because I'm more on the technology and not so much on the hex staking. Although of course I've been in hex for since the beginning, so it's a thing. I guess Richard's already decided it's mining, so just use what he has. It's he never asked my opinion on it, so it's fine. It's a word. To see what the rest of the community gets on board with it over time. Now, I actually did a tweet that I replied to the group with my links, but then so I have my Substack, which is gamma devops period substack.com, and that's where you can find validating tutorials and teller reporting tutorials like in the future when I have more information about teller reporting. Obviously this Twitter account, please follow me, and then you will get all the information as a new Substack post, or if I'm doing a live stream or anything like on my Twitter account. I'm a majority Telegram, Twitter, right? 50-50 basically. I kind of do both of them equally. I have a YouTube channel where I do live streams where I'll do Q&A, and I'll pick I'll pick a technical subject of the day, maybe a couple of them, mostly revolving validators and stuff, and then I'll answer questions. And that is youtube.com and then at Gamma DevOps, right? YouTube has these usernames now. So yeah, youtube.com / at symbol GAMMADEVOPS, Gamma DevOps. So you can find me in those. Follow me on Twitter. My DMs are open. You can DM me questions as long as they're specific to some topic that's like a validator, teller, even the graph is fine. But you got to be specific. If you've never even watched, if you want to ask me questions about being a validator and you've never even watched one of my videos, I'm going to direct you to my free videos that are a 5-part series on how to be a validator and ask you to watch those and then come back to me with questions. And maybe I need to refine my videos in the future to make sure that information is covered in there better. So, I do take feedback, and in the future, I'll try and make my videos better for you guys. Okay? And that's about it. I do one-on-one consulting. If you want to be a validator, you don't feel up to it, or you just want to get a little bit of a kind of a holding hand situation running a validator, no problem. I'm willing to I'll do a one-on-one Zoom call with you, like $100 an hour. Consult, get it put on the calendar. We do a call. You do it yourself. I'm not getting your keys. I'm just walking you through the commands, helping you figure out what paths you need, and then if you need to change your flags or whatever, and if you're using a non Ubuntu system, I can work with all the different Linux varieties. If you really want to install on Windows, I can help you there too. But Windows isn't my favorite operating system to work with, but I can totally help you with that too. And that's about it of my spill. Thanks for having the space, Gary.
All good, all good. You're a valued resource. I appreciate it, man. So, want to get B-Roots to give a review, and then, his Shield Tank show. If anybody's in this space today, and they're planning on launching something, they're planning on participating in something on Pulsechain, and they're very RH centric and ecosystem. I think it's valuable to learn what commentary people like B Roots and his co-host make in their Shield Tank. I think it's valuable for you to understand their criteria when it comes to what may or may not be popular or be use case or meme. So again, credit to B Roots for his Shield Tank show. And with that, your mic is yours on closing the show.
Yeah, B Roots. I'm a pretty big micro capper, so most of my investments is in micro caps. However, I do hold a few large caps, such as Hex and a Sacrificer and Pulsechain. But in the end, we're in a casino, which I believe. And in a casino, some games have better odds than others. But I do understand that a lot of people come into this game wanting to hit that, $25 million Wheel of Fortune jackpot. They are possible, and majority of people that come into crypto usually go after those. So that's the section of crypto that I am in. I also have a YouTube channel, Crypto Kings, with Ian Heinisch, who is a current UFC fighter that's heavily involved with crypto also. And there is if you're going to be in this casino playing with the microcaps, playing with the meme coins, whether it's Pulsechain, Ethereum, Arbitrum, BSC, you name it, you should watch the video on that called The Laws of Meme Coins. It is a guide. It's not financial advice, but it's a good guide to increase your probabilities of winning versus getting wrecked. And even today, I still do get wrecked, but my probabilities are a lot lower than many others. So please go watch that video. That's on my YouTube channel, Crypto Kings. And then I have the Shield Tank, which has projects come on and shield to you. And it is on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. And then we have our YouTube live stream on Thursday, same time, 11 a.m. Eastern. As far as hex staking or minting, personally, I truly don't care. In my opinion, it's just another narrative. I do think that Ethereum is too big to fail. I do think that Bitcoin is too big to fail. And I don't think anything big is going to happen. It's just a narrative, in my opinion, to get the last little bit of coins that they can get from you. To bring the market down. So a lot of this stuff is narrative, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to majorly affect us in any kind of way. So I pretty much don't pay attention to stuff like that, news, events, things like that. I'm a Chartist TA guy, so I could have told you that Bitcoin was going down no matter what the news was. So I'm the guy that says, "Show me the charts, I'll show you the news," and I don't care about the news. So staking, minting, doesn't matter. The show will continue.
All right, guys. I appreciate that commentary. Everyone that's a speaker, retweet this. The sound version is obviously going to be available once I close the show. Probably tomorrow I will upload on YouTube, which is YouTube/@Pulsechain Media. And if you do become a speaker in future shows, as in the past as well, your Twitter profile is what is shown. So make sure your URLs are correct in the future. Make sure that your images look, in my view, they should be professional. But do your memes and things like that, because that's what's shown on this show is the YouTube content. Later, it also will be snipped down to be shorts and reels and all this other kind of thing for short ADD kind of people. Let me go to the hand up of B-Roots. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, one last pretty important announcement I did forget. The week that Pulsechain does launch, there will be a Pulsechain only shill tank. We did it with Proof of Memes, and it was a very, very, very successful big show. So we are going to do that same thing with Pulsechain. It will be extended. How many hours it takes to get through other projects, that's what we're going to do. But I think that will also help, you get out there in front of everybody. And if you're just Hex, just Pulsechain, you spend most of your time in this ecosystem, it's going to be a very good way for you to market to other people that don't really know about the ecosystem of Richard Hart that much. So my recommendation, please run through there, whether it's 5 minutes or not, just do your pitch. And I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on that. So it's going to be a very big show with thousands of people listening. So I highly recommend it if it's something that you like, something that you want to pitch. If you're not doxxed, get a very good community member of your project to speak on your behalf and get yourself out there. That's what it's all about. And I think the first week is going to be a lot of hype, a lot of marketing going on. It's only going to be for the good. So please look out for that. Hopefully in 2 weeks or less, we get our Pulsechain coins and an actual main launch. But as soon as we get that notification, we're going to plan for that show. It'll be a pretty big show.
I don't want to. I hear some testnet this month is very likely. I don't think it could be testnet in March. Absolutely, is totally on the table. Mainnet, maybe a month or two after is my what I'm trying to set expectations at.
Yeah.
You think in March?
But yeah, so just be prepared for that. Whatever you want to shill, just come through, do your shill, and then it'll be heavily recorded and set up for YouTube and all that stuff. So it'll be pretty big.
I think it's awesome because people can practice their pitch, and when you do those speed rounds and you really kind of hold it to a 3-minute window, it helps people, both prepare before Pulsechain testnet. It gets eyes on their project, it gets eyes on their pitch. It allows people to have some review time before a main net or before there's a sacrifice if they're going to draw some kind of money from the audiences. And if there's opportunity to host or co-host or something like that with that show, I definitely want to participate. It's awesome. Really support what you got going in general. A lot of people love you, a lot of people hate you, but a reasoned person should be able to take in information. So appreciate you joining today. Thanks everybody for the show, especially Gamma Dev. Make sure you go visit his channel with technology and all of the different things about his Substack are very useful. Make sure you follow any of the speakers today. Famous, Top Gun, NFT on Pulse, Pulsey. Really appreciate it, guys. I will see you in a few days on, what is today? Wednesday? I guess it'll be Saturday. See you guys next time. See ya.